as we learned in the last video I posted, Elon Musk had taken over Twitter. He's now the new leader of the free world when it comes to the internet. As a response, gamers rejoiced and posted congratulatory messages on the platform. And since then, Elon Musk has been pretty damn active. I'm not going to lie. For someone who is the CEO of multiple companies, this motherfucker is on Twitter more than a single mother that ain't got a job. I'm talking about tweeting, retweeting, replying. Like, you subscribe to this feed, your shit's going to get blown the fuck up, right? So one thing that's been funny from this is just how much shit Elon has been talking. Like, it's crazy that he's a billionaire. At some point, he was the richest man in the world for a minute. You know, took the title from Jeff Bezos. And he's CEO of multiple companies. He's well known. He's a smart guy. But you can tell just by viewing his Twitter account, he has been elated and so happy just from the attention. Like, this motherfucker been retweeting everything. He be dropping laughing emojis. Like, he is so happy that people are finally chilling with him, vibing with him. Like, him paying $50 billion for Twitter was worth it in his book. Because he's like, yo, at least now I got all my friends on here. We can chat shit. And no one can ban me because I'm the motherfucking head guy in charge. What can you do? So a lot of the stuff was funny. Like, I thought he was chatting about this, but he's adding an $8 verification system where basically you can now have a blue check mark and be official, which a lot of people aren't happy about because before Twitter just handed out to people who were like important or influencers or random politicians. He even told AOC that he appreciates her feedback about an 8-month subscription, but she's going to have to pay that $8. You're going to have to drop the money. This ain't no joke here, right? But in reality, Elon actually is changing the company. He is going through, he's thinking about bringing back old features. He's thinking about doing different things. But one thing that was very odd, and at first I thought it was just for attention. I thought he was just like on some weird, because Elon does shit for attention, right? He actually like does shit that's just for attention where he talks about certain things. Like, for example, he said he was going to lay off 75% of Twitter employees. He's like, they don't do shit. They all from San Francisco anyway. They don't work. They fucking bums. They don't do anything. And that was hilarious. But now that he's CEO, it seems like he's not chatting. It seems like he's legit going to, first of all, never mind just firing them, he's going to humiliate them. So not only is he saying that he's going to lay off a majority of Twitter employees, but he also says that for anyone who's left behind, you need to work 84-hour work weeks. Like, you need to start working now. This isn't no game. This isn't no bullshit. You need to put in work. And Elon doesn't play. Because in the past, he did it to Tesla employees, where one day he just woke up, he was in a bad mood. He's like, you can't work remote anymore. If you're not near the office, guess what? You're either fired or relocating. Like, he does not care. He just wakes up one day, he's like, you know what? My employees, I don't know where they are. I don't know what they're doing, but they better show up to work. I do not take this lightly. So for Twitter, he's literally made a mandate to say, work 84 hours. Now, what they're working on, what the projects are, I don't know. From my understanding, Twitter has 12 managers for every engineer, so that's going to be confusing. But I think Elon is taking the right approach because he told people to print out all their code from the past 30 to 60 days. And I thought this, again, like you see some things online, you're like, oh, LOL, funny. But he legit told people, print out your code. Now, the last time I did this personally, I think I was in college, and there's no way you're reading that shit. Like, there's no way in hell you're actually going to read that shit. And funny enough, I think Elon realized, like, yo, there's so many papers. Look at the ink. The ink bill's going up. You know how much fucking ink we're wasting here? Cut it off. Stop it. But the fact that he actually told people, print your shit out and bring it to me like it's your fucking final thesis statement, that's insane. That's a drain. But then, while all this is going on, right, things get a little bit scary. I'm not going to lie to you. Things got really spooky because this went from performative, this went from like just chatting, just, oh, LOL, guys, I'm going to make people work 90 hours. These guys are finally going to show up to work. These guys are finally... Elon literally, supposedly, he's going through with it. He's actually laying off all these employees. He actually said that for Twitter employees that today, Thursday, you're going to get an email. This email is letting you know that tomorrow you may or may not be laid off. You will get an email tomorrow in your personal email, meaning you're laid off, or you will get an email in your work email saying you're still here, work the 90 hours. And when I saw this again, I was like, is this for real? Like, is this serious? And it seems like it's serious. Now, all joking aside, let's be serious here for a second. Elon Musk is an autistic Asperger weirdo who uses billions of dollars to acquire different things. He makes flamethrowers when he feels like it. He does random space missions, and he's like, fuck it, I'm going to do this because it interests me. He's an individual that is literally autistic, on the spectrum, riding the waves like the Silver Surfer. And now he's ruling. Imagine if you worked at a company and your CEO is an autistic weirdo that you may or may not get laid off. You may or may not have to work weekends. Like, that's some straight weirdo shit. And the thing is, starting off, like, thinking about this, like, it was so funny. It's like, all these Twitter employees, they all just living in San Francisco, living it up. They all making $1 billion. They all zillionaires. And it's just funny to think, like, they're gonna basically be under the foot of now finally having to work. But in all reality, as much shit as Elon Musk chats, like, he's not exactly a hard worker. He's not an immigrant. Like, if Elon Musk was like Jack Ma, or if he was like an immigrant that came to America, I'd be like, at least he's chatting from a place of work. At least this guy worked his way up. This dude came from South Africa, right? His parents owned diamond mines. They were benefactors of apartheid, right? They had motherfuckers digging mines, doing ye-old slavery work before apartheid was finished. He comes to America, already got money in his pocket, right? Goes to work at PayPal, founds PayPal, takes the money, invests it, does whatever. He ends up getting on the Tesla train. Since then, it's just been money printing, money printing, money printing. But the thing is, for him to say, like, Twitter employees don't work, they're a bunch of weirdos, this, that, and the third, it's like, bro, you're talking about yourself. You don't do shit. You're CEO of multiple companies, and all you do is just fuck your assistants. You just go around fucking every bitch that'll bend over, and you're over here talking about no one works. Fam, you got multiple bitches, multiple baby mamas, and you out here doing weird autistic bullshit. And now you're telling me that this autistic weirdo, and here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with autism. I wish I had it. That shit gives you superpowers. But the point is that he's essentially acting like, and he's essentially turning into a dictator when it comes to policies in the workplace. And he's not exactly the best leader, because even at Tesla, like, he has a toxic ass work environment. Dude, if you want to go work at Tesla, I'm telling you right now, if you're black, a minority, gay, whatever, go work at Tesla, have a manager call you a slur, get that big money check, and then retire early. Because apparently when you work at Tesla, the big money game ain't the stock. It's getting called the N-word by your manager and then suing for compensation. So now this person who is a little bit eccentric, well, a lot of bit eccentric, very odd, not the most even-keeled individual. Now he's just dropping layoff emails, and there's no idea. There's speculation that this may be up to 75%, 50%, 25%. The number has been flying around. But now he literally is going through it. You're going to get an email. You may or may not be laid off. And this is probably one of the worst times to be laid off, especially if you're in the tech sector, because everyone's doing layoffs. All right? Everyone's doing layoffs. And here's the thing. Here's one thing. If you want to know, like, legit to take this serious or not, yo, Amazon froze their hiring. Amazon has millions of employees. Amazon gets people in. They grind them up. You work. You deliver those packages. You do whatever. And then you're on to the next one, right? You either survive, leave, or die. Amazon ain't hiring, right? Amazon ain't hiring. Google never hired. The only way you get into Google is if you know, by coincidence, some executive, and you just get in there and lift. Like, everyone's laying off, and right now the economy is, like, at a point where it's tipping. It's not exactly the best for the job market, and things are getting worse as the Fed makes decisions and policies changes. And now you have Twitter, who's supposedly doing a 50% layoff. Now, granted, this seems like something that Elon Musk was hinting at for a while, but this is like the most, like, weird way to do it. Like, he doesn't. And by the way, keep in mind, some companies did have to do layoffs due to economic policy changes as well as economic issues. I don't know if that's the reason for this. It seems like Elon just wants to clean house. And, for example, one company, as much as you might want to laugh, Coinbase, actually gave people multiple weeks of severance. They also gave them healthcare extended, and they also gave them a good window to basically get a new job while still getting some compensation. Meanwhile, Elon, when he did his layoff at Tesla, that dude gave people 1 week pay and a free Uber ride home. Like, that's crazy, bro. I feel like motherfuckers that get fired from Domino's got better compensation. Like, I feel like Domino's be like, you know what? We'll give you 2 weeks. We'll give you 2 weeks, and I'll call you a taxi. Don't worry about Uber. I'll call you a taxi. You're going home in style. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is like, all right, here's a week's pay. Fuck off. I'm going to go back to being a quote-unquote hard worker. When he says hard worker, he's talking about his hard dick working on these bitches. And that's it. Like, that's the thing. Like the thing I don't understand about Elon is, like, he's chatting like he's this media mogul. He's this big brain individual. It's like, bro, you had a small loan. You had not even a loan. You had a small deposit from your parents. You took that money. You moved on. You pulled the Gary V where you're like, I'm a self-made millionaire, guys. Look, I'm so good. I'm such a great guy. And now you're using your power and wielding it in the most austere fashion where it's not necessary. And I'll tell you one thing, bro. This guy tweets about everything. He replies about everything. I haven't seen anything about the layoffs, so I believe that shit because this guy chats about everything, but he hasn't said anything about that. I think Elon Musk, he's an entertaining figure. He has some shit that's a little bit weird about him. And it's funny to see this unfold, but at the same time, it's like, bro, like, you're a CEO of the company. And honestly, the more you work, the more you realize that a CEO of a company is more important than your president of the United States. On God. Like, you work at a company. Like, when I was working at Amazon, bro, Jeff Bezos was the Lizard King. Every day, I would just stare at my fucking wall with Jeff Bezos, and on top of him was Kim Jong-un, and I would just pray to it. And I'd be like, please, do not fire me. Please, do not make me work weekends. Please, have mercy. And sometimes you got lucky and sometimes you didn't. But at the end of the day, Jeff Bezos did it out of pure, unadulterated optimization. Elon Musk is just shooting guns and firing people. He's like, you know what? Fuck, I'm gonna fire 25. I'm gonna fire 75. You know what? Let's meet in the middle. I'm gonna fire 50% of the staff. It's like, bro, what are you throwing darts on the board? You're like, all right, let me see how high I want unemployment numbers to be this week. Like, what is good with you, bro? What's wrong with you? And he didn't even try to cover it up and be like, you know, due to the economic policy from the Federal Reserve, I mean, we really have to make moves to try to mitigate the... He just fucking emails people. He's like, yo, look out for an email tomorrow. Or maybe don't, because if you get that email, you're axed. Get the fuck out of here. So, listen, bro, all these Twitter people, as much as you disgust me with your blue haircuts, and as much as, honestly, I don't even use Twitter. I'll be honest with you. Like, if you use Twitter for real, like, if you be tweeting your breakfast and, like, tweeting about how, like, you saw some privileged shit happen, like, there's something wrong with you. But I don't believe you deserve to be laid off at a moment's notice. I don't believe that your CEO should be some weirdo who pretends like he has an amazing work ethic when in reality he'd just be dicking bitches down. Thoughts and prayers. It is what it is. I guess I'm going to just have to go on and take Twitter off the application list. What can you do? One less company to look forward to. Elon, touche, you did it. You finally became the biggest Discord mod in the world. You pretty much are a Reddit mod, a janitor from 4chan, and a Discord mod all rolled up into one. You have all the Infinity Stones. The world is at your fingertips. I just hope you don't destroy us all.
At the end of every single video, make sure you ask people to rate and subscribe to your content. It makes them feel like they're involved even though they're really not. And most importantly, make sure they comment on every single video. If you have to, disguise it. You know, call it something like the question of the day. And really make them think you're gonna really read it when you really don't have to. Ha ha ha!